Hi there, I'm Michiel, I'm a Starseed, and today I'd like to talk about myths of specialness. This is an often heard critique. Starseeds think they're so much better and they're so special. So let's dive into it. At number 10 of my top 10 myths is Starseeds are automatically gifted and can manifest effortlessly. You'll need to develop these abilities. To me, it's just a myth and I haven't experienced it myself. But maybe you've got a different experience. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to continue with the top 10 at number 9. Starseeds are waiting for spaceships coming to rescue them, to take us off planet. And, in that myth, it would be the Starseeds being the special ones being rescued. And this seems to me like such a distortion. We are the special one, whether it be 144,000 or something like that, and we're more important than everyone else. That it creates such a separation. And you're Starseed if you connect with the stars, and it's not limited to a certain number. So, rescue people. I mean, we're here on Earth, we don't need to be rescued. So it's just a very weird myth, and it would be dishonoring for people's journey just to rescue them and take them off planet. Okay, so this to me is really bizarre. We are on Earth, and continuing with the top 10, number 8, twin flame reunion is the final step of the Starseed journey. And this to me seems another distortion, because so we're already whole, we're already complete, and the twin flame relationship is based on the idea of being half of a soul. It doesn't make sense that that would be the final step of the Starseed journey. I think it could be an intermediate step where you still have kind of an interdependent relationship with someone. You feel dependent on them and they feel dependent on you, and you can definitely learn from that. But it couldn't be the final step, because after that you could come to an inner realization that you're already whole and then have a relationship based on that. I don't really understand why there needs to be a final step anyway. At number 7 from our top 10, we've got everyday human stuff is beneath Starseed. Why should you bother with these chores? They're low vibe. And then some people take as far as saying 3D life is like a prison planet and you can be above it. You could even separate yourself from the system. It can lead to an unstable life where bills go unpaid, etc. Relationships starve. You can question if it's a good idea to think like that. And then why wouldn't you bring in your energy into human life? And the energy could work through the system as well. That's what I believe. So yeah, I think this is really a myth that and it's about withdrawal as well. At number 6, Starseeds are always on a mission. And to me, these missions, they're kind of to-do lists. They're kind of things that you tick off in your mind. And I feel my expression of light, that is important. I don't see it as a mission myself. So it's definitely a myth to me. Now, if you do feel that you are on a mission, my invitation would be explore can you let that go? Because these missions, they can be like contracts on soul level or another level. And sometimes you can just let them go and just be in the here and now, just let things unfold spontaneously. Missions make people feel special. But how about instead of, what's my mission today, just ask, how can I express my light? How can I bring joy into the world and love and compassion? So that's what feels important to me. And it's not a mission. it's spontaneous. So that is kind of the difference for me. At number 5, good starseeds are here to fight bad starseeds. And this idea of a battle between the dark and the light, people love it. It's a saga, it's drama. But then they always ask, is that really true on the deepest level? Because these battles, they play out within polarity, but my true nature is beyond that polarity. It's just like pure light. So I think it's an interesting thing to question, and just to ask yourself, who am I really? Am I a part of this fight? Or perhaps I can see it with the eyes of my guides, my light family, and just see this unfold from a place of unconditional love. And then, am I really here to fight or just to be? At number 4, if you've had direct contact or you've been on a spaceship, you're more special. And the reason I think this is a myth is because we've all got multidimensional aspects. We've all got different qualities. We've all got unique visions. By feeling special, that you've had a vision of being on a spaceship. It's a stage. It's not a destination. I'd say don't worship that specialness, because these kinds of experiences are meant as a confirmation from your guides, a confirmation of what you already know. So it's not a confirmation of specialness. At number 3, starseeds are only a select few. I believe that if you connect with the stars, with spaceships, with cosmic guides, you are a starseed, at least in that moment. And we all come from the stars. So it's just scarcity marketing. Find out if you're one of the 144,000. And myth number 2, starseeds are always very evolved. And I think this is a myth. We all have higher guidance, starseed or not, but it doesn't mean that we necessarily listen to that guidance. So I don't think starseeds are more evolved, because it's just like any group of people, some are evolved and some are not. In other words, you could bring through information and get the words, but it's different to actually understand the words from your spiritual guides and actually integrate that information and connect with maybe blind spots that you've got, or things that require your attention, certain feelings. It's kind of a healing process in which you realize that you're already whole. And myth number 1 is physical characteristics determine starseeds. And this actually comes from the 1950s and ideas that there's Nordic space brothers, Nordic Pleiadians. And then there's other like New Age art that has white, thin and ethereal beings on them. So these images are like unconscious in our mind. Like that's what we might associate with Pleiadians as starseeds. But people kind of confusing the levels here. Like the physical level is different from the higher level. Of course, it doesn't matter what you look like to connect with the stars. It's a completely backwards idea. Being a starseed is actually all about bringing the light into the physical form and seeing through these kind of beliefs about appearance, because it's not about appearance. It's about the lights that coming through and shining forth from the heart. So that was myth number 1. I hope you enjoyed this top 10. So in conclusion, if you trust that your message is beautiful and unique, there's no need for competition where it's more special than anyone else's message. And as always, thank you for watching, and your cosmic vision is important.